I'll tell you, so many times when I read it in the morning, it's exactly what I needed to hear today. And it's amazing how they're speaking directly to me, directly to my heart. So thank you, Carolyn, for healing. And you know what heals? Animals. So today we're going to talk about the wisdom of animals, and we're going to start with a meditation. So relax in your chair and get comfortable. And we're going to do an opening centering. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Take a conscious breath in. Slowly release it. Again, breathing in the life of spirit and gently letting go. With each breath, we move into the stillness of God's presence, the same presence that fills all living things. In Unity's teaching, we remember that all creatures are part of the one life of God, each being an expression, an aspect of divine mind. Each is a lesson, a message, a reflection of spirit in form. Picture a bird. And now hear its song. Watch it rise into the open sky. The birds remind us of faith and freedom, the ability to trust unseen currents and be carried by Spirit's wind. Like the bird, we too are lifted above appearances, resting in divine order. Now, in your mind's eye, imagine a deer moving quietly through the forest. Gentle, graceful, strong without force. The deer teaches us tenderness, sensitivity, and the courage to walk peacefully. We remember that gentleness is true strength in God's kingdom. Now, see a dog come bounding towards you, tail wagging, eyes shining. It offers unconditional love and loyalty and joy, just as Spirit's love surrounds us. We're called to live with that same joy, devotion, and love. And then a cat appears, quiet yet alert, resting with ease, watching with awareness. The cat teaches us balance between rest and action, between stillness and play. Spirit reminds us to honor our rhythms, to know when to act, and to know when simply to be. Now, in your mind's eye, imagine a horse, strong and free, galloping across a wide field. The horse embodies vitality and movement and purpose. In the horse, we see our own spiritual power, strength, guided by wisdom. Strength, guided by divine wisdom. picture a great elephant, steady, wise, deeply connected to its family. It shows us the sacredness of community, the value of memory, and a wisdom that transcends time. We remember that divine wisdom is always within us, steady and strong. Even the smallest ant carries a sacred lesson. It reminds us of diligence, cooperation, persistence. No effort is wasted, no task too small, when guided by love and purpose. Now imagine the great web of life, every bird, every deer, every dog, every cat, horse, elephant, ant, and all the rest, all connected, all alive with spirit. We are not above them, but among them, fellow travelers in God's creation. Take a moment now to silently bless the animals that you hold dear, our pets, wild creatures, or even those that you imagine. Offer them love and receive their wisdom. The life of God flows through all creation. The wisdom of Spirit is revealed in every creature, and I honor the sacred presence of God in the animal kingdom. I learn from their ways. Take one more deep breath, breathing in the unity of all life, breathing out gratitude and peace. And gently bring your awareness back to this moment, carrying with you the wisdom of God's creatures and the reminder that all life, great and small, is an expression of the one. And so it is. Back to the here and the now in this beautiful sanctuary. God's creation alive with movement, song, and wisdom. Myrtle Fillmore reminded us that all of God's creatures are part of one life, one spirit, each revealing an aspect of divine mind. Picture now the animal kingdom. Wait, I gotta show you. This is my animal kingdom. So those are my doggies. In there. Well, actually, you can see Annika's doggies too. Yeah. That Helena is babysitting right now. She's with them right now while Annika's away. But this is best pal, John Henry Kelso. Annika's 3 dogs, which are Bootsy, Bandit, and Bootsy. Bandit, Bootsy, and Bella. Yeah. And I had treats. They were all very attentive to being blessed. And there's Aladar, and there's my squirrel from Michigan. And then up in the corner is Aladar again with the horns. It was too cute to not put in there. And then in the bottom corner you see my little Zenyatta. They were all named after racehorses. That's my animal kingdom. When I was ordained, I came home to the Airbnb exhausted. There were deer, birds, and all kinds of foxes in the backyard, and we were all enjoying the deer especially. I was staying with Reverend Ken and Reverend Carla. I was exhausted with a spiritual journey that was realized, but even then, I realized I'd never be finished on my path until I stopped drawing air. I awoke the next morning to a bear at my window. I'm gonna have to sit down. I'm sorry, I'm having a little sugar moment. So I was exhausted, and I woke the next morning thinking there's a big black bear who just looked at me in the window and smiled. And I drifted back to sleep, knowing this bear may or not be real in real life, but was present for me. After we came home, and I got over my first round ever with COVID, given to me by Rev. Ken by sitting in the front seat of the car with his COVID breathing self, I was in full fever when I remembered the black bear smiling at me. I started to research the spiritual meaning of it. It symbolizes not only physical power and resilience, but also mental wisdom and intuitive understanding. To many Native American tribes, the black bear represents a protector figure imbued with the courage to face challenges and the insight to navigate through life's complexities. Symbolism ascribed to the black bear with attributes that foster a connection with nature and the spirit realm. Our strength, guardian and protector, confidence and leadership, connection to nature, inner strength. I was remembering how my grandpa, who's a full Ojibwe man, who was born on the reservation but never wanted to admit his heritage. He was raised to be ashamed of it, but he used to take my little sister and I to the dump to throw out the garbage when we visited my grandparents in northern Michigan. It was a one-room cabin with a shed attached for the kids to sleep and an outhouse. But to us, it was vacation and heaven, and the black bears came closer to us at the dump than you could ever get to at the zoo. I remember him telling us just to watch for the babies, because if the babies were there, the mother bears would attack to defend and protect them. My sister and I would watch the bears for what seemed like hours, and it was always a fun time to drive with Grandpa to the dump. Oh, and he drove like a maniac, going so fast our heads hit the ceiling of the car, and those were the days of no seatbelts. Good times. But the black bears were with me from those days and my grandpa, and they came back to me as spirit animals at my ordination, and many times after that. In Catholic traditions, we believe a cardinal, a beautiful red bird, tells us when a loved one is past or near us. When I go home to my condo in Michigan, the cardinal couple come and visit me on the deck. There's also a blue jay there that I think might be my brother. Before my brother died, he told me to look for him in nature. He usually sends me a random animal on his birthday. The first, after he passed, was a raccoon. That was 2012. 2013, it was a rat walking across the wire. We used to have rat jokes back and forth. 2022, I got hundreds of dragonflies on my lawn. Some people give meanings to butterflies. The butterfly spiritual meaning typically relates to enlightenment, rebirth, and the impermanence of worldly matters. My own 3 dogs came to me in various ways. Have you ever wondered why dogs hold a special place in our hearts and our stories? In the Bible, these loyal companions symbolize more than just friendship. They represent deeper spiritual truths that can enrich your understanding and faith. And now we go to the cats in our lives. My little sister had 3 cats, Godfrey, and when he passed away, she got Winston and Churchill, my feisty feline nephews. Cats have long been regarded as spiritual animals, often representing qualities such as independence, mystery, and curiosity. In some cultures, cats are believed to possess spiritual powers, sensing energies, and even warding off negative forces. The idea is the cat have a sixth sense isn't new. Many people attribute mystical significance to encounters with these enigmatic creatures. You never really own a cat. They kind of choose to cohabitate with you. Am I right, Tim?
Yep.
Cats represent independence, mystery and magic, protection and guardianship, intuition and inner knowing. There's a rainbow bridge at Unity Village, and people are remembering their pets who have passed away there. I've lost dogs. Ruffian, the crazy Dalmatian girl, Best Pal, the best herding Australian cattle dog, and Kelso, my beautiful little boy, who was found on the side of the 405 tied up at a year old. I gave him 5 years of peace and love for a little boy who had been beaten and left for dead as a pup. We invite the animals into our lives and sometimes into our home and sometimes, like John Henry, into our bed. And here's what they've taught me. First, when you bring into your life a furry or feathery or maybe a slimy friend, my great niece is into the reptiles, you sign on to have your heart broken because they seldom outlive us. But for the time they're with us, I've learned what love is. True love, forgiving love, pure and positive. And when you look into the eyes of the animal, wild or domesticated, see their wisdom, quiet and shining, no words needed. Watch for a purr, a chirp, or a wag. That is their true wisdom energy. And now Tim's going to play